Yeah, and I think that's one of the big things where it's like a lot of people who are first time into this, and when I say a game has to be in style, it's that replayability.
Yeah.
A lot of the people who are designing games right now grew up playing Super Nintendo to PlayStation. Like, that's just kind of the generation that's like, okay, I'm 30 or 40, this is my shot to make a game. So you see a lot of indie games coming from those type of people.
Yeah.
And so those games are, there's a saying like in music, like you always make the music that you listened to when you were 14 years old.
Totally.
And so it's the same thing with games where it's like a lot of first-time developers are probably in their 30s to 40s. And so the games they were playing when they were 14 is like Super Nintendo through PlayStation, just inching into like Xbox. And so those games that were hot back then were like single player, story-based, especially console-based, where it was just like you play through this thing and then it ends. And now on PC, it's a totally different world. Nowadays it's like I want to be able to just play with this world, and there's no structure as much, and it's a lot of like systems and stuff. And I think that's one of the first lessons that a lot of first-time indies need to make when you're making your game is that is what people want on Steam. That's what's in style right now, are these kind of, like you said, totally accurate battle simulator, those kind of survival games where it's like, I can just do anything and the systems just work on all this. That's the rich type of game that a player on Steam wants. My thought is, and when we say a good game, I think a lot of people go, oh yeah, obviously I'm making a good game. Obviously. Yeah. But there's a lot in good game. Like, I honestly think 90% of your success is dependent on your game. And there's two parts to that. It's the good game, and by good game I mean looks beautiful. Like, it has to look good. No program art. It has to look like amazing. Like, when somebody sees a screenshot, they gotta say, I want that.
Yeah.
That's it. It has to have no bugs. It has to kind of like have fun gameplay. That's, I would say, 45%. The other 45% is it has to be in style. And when I say in style, is there are certain games that are like really popular right now. Like on Steam, it's city builders, survival games, open world kind of survival games, farming sims. All those are kind of like in style right now. So if you make a really good game that's perfect, but it's like, and I hate to say it, I make these pixel art platformers, it's just not going to sell.
This is
like,
funny. Platformers are a genre that are just getting such a kicking right now from everybody. They don't make a platformer is like a total meme right now in this kind of conversation.
I mean, I made a pixel art platformer. Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
And they just, you can't force it. You just can't. Like, this is hard for a lot of people to understand. They think, well, I made a good game. It's like, it has to be a good game that's in the current style of, what's popular. And I kind of liken it to, like, what if you were a perfect tailor? Like, you were the best tailor. Like, you made, like, best fabrics. You knew how to get the best fabrics. Your stitching was immaculate. Like, nobody stitches like you. Yeah. And you know how to, like, perfectly crease the clothing, and everything is perfect. Your machines are top-notch, like your sewing machine and everything. Designed, you learned your design from the top schools. You're the best tailor that's ever been. And then you make bell bottoms, and nobody buys bell bottoms anymore. Yeah. It's like, then they're like, I'm the best tailor. Why is nobody buying my clothes? It's like, well, you're making bell bottoms. Like, nobody really buys bell bottoms anymore. That's the mentality you have to have. And that's where it kind of comes back to what you're talking about with Steam is like, yeah, if you get those two right, really good game, right genre, and you just know how to kind of play Steam, you at least know the basics of the algorithm on Steam. You don't have to go crazy into it. I think you can do pretty well. But that first part, everybody's like, oh, no, learn the algorithm. I'll learn the algorithm. No, that first part is you got to learn what's the genres that are popular right now and that Steam likes. And then you also have to make a fun game that is beautiful. And I don't want to just say, like, it has to, like, shockingly beautiful. And I don't mean just good graphics. I mean, like, stylistic graphics. Because there are some simple, not representational graphics that can be, like, arbitrary colors and, like kind of weird looking, but it just has to, like, when you see it, you're like, oh my God, that's beautiful. Yeah. That's what Steam requires.
I agree 100%. And I think that there's as you say, with the tailoring analogy, which I think is a good one, people believe that good execution and quality are differentiators when in fact, what you make. How you make it is kind of honestly, I hate to say it, but it's kind of the price of entry, right? It's like being able to make something well is just expected. Nobody's going to be like, wow, no bugs. Like, wow, runs at a reasonable frame rate. Like, I mean, people do appreciate those things, and they would definitely ding you if it doesn't, right? But nobody is going to be like, I saw this game and it just had really solid frame rate and, you know, like great software architecture, like.
Yeah.
You know, but as developers, right, that we're really interested in that, and we really want to put a lot of focus and energy into that because we believe, and in our craft, that is important and valuable, right? But it is not. It's how, not what, right? And what you make is probably, you know, massively more important than how well you make it.